dreaming of a world where people don't have to live with pain. You're told there's no cure, to live with your pain for the rest of your life, keep taking drugs, and yet you're still suffering. It doesn't have to be like this. Be open, trust your instincts, and let me show you how. Why do I do the PainFree Method and help people? Well, first of all, I love helping people. I love taking people from a dark place who think there's nothing left. They've been told there's no cure. They've been told learn to live with it, manage pain, try to think of something else, but they're suffering. And I love to take someone in that situation and give them hope and light and give them actual practical actions how to be pain-free. And my method works straight away, because when you do the right things in the right moment for the right things, when you know what to do, when you do the right things, it works. Your body just responds. It's automatic. The first thing I see when somebody comes to me is they come to me with back pain, physical conditions, maybe it's anxiety, and they say, Althea, help me with this thing. And I can see, what I see is that they're full of story, and the symptoms they are wanting help with, they're just the tip of the iceberg. So my mind's thinking, okay, that's where we begin, but what's really going on? And I look at the whole picture. I'm looking at their face, I'm looking for signals of the body, I'm understanding what their physical symptoms are all about. It stops me going out, it makes me feel stressed, I feel traumatized by this thing, I am frustrated by having this thing. So I'm listening to their words and how they're feeling, and it's building a picture in my mind about what's going on for them. So I'm looking at the whole picture, and sometimes people don't even mention what went on before, what created the problem. Maybe they don't associate it. So I teach them how to connect to the presenting condition, the thing, the horror that they're dealing with, and you start healing from that point. When they come to me, they want their migraines gone, so that's what we focus on. You have to deal with the presentation of the situation, of the symptom. You have to meet it head on, and that's where my method comes in, that they learn how to get rid of the symptoms, so they're thinking better, they can think, they can feel better, they're happier, their energy's rising. You can't take people back to the reason it's there. If they're not there, they are urgently wanting help with the symptoms. So we deal with the symptoms to release that. And we don't even go digging, because the body will show it up at you. When you start connecting to your symptoms, you automatically start connecting to the reason it's there, because it's frustrating, it hurts you, you can't get up. You know, these words, these reactions are the story. People say, you know, what was your big why? And there are lots of sort of stages of what created my knowledge to help people. But it started when I was a little girl, and I was abused when I was a little girl. And being in a middle-class, lovely family, well-to-do family, and nothing wrong with that, but I couldn't express what I was dealing with. I didn't have any help for it. I didn't know. I was a little girl. So my feelings got stuck. And anytime I reached out for help, it wasn't addressed. It wasn't, I had no outlet of it. So I grew up trying to manage the situation as best I could, which was fine. I'm a strong girl, and I've got a brain in my head, but I was a little girl. So as I grew up, I had a craving to connect in a real way with people, with truth, with the realness of people. When I grew up, we had to dress well and behave well and be with the right people and connect with the right circles, and it was all about that. And it wasn't really, I felt, a space for me to express my inner self. Even though my mum was a lovely chatty girl, and keep calling her a girl, but with my mum, she's very chatty, very sociable, very easy to communicate with, but not when it came to difficult feelings, exactly. So growing up, I felt a lack of connection, of realness, and I was craving it. And so I had this very sort of formal upbringing. When I was 13, I found palmistry. I was going with my mum to these natural fairs, mind, body, spirit shows, and I saw this massive hand on the wall, and I was like, "What's that?" You know, something pinged, and I started reading hands from that day. I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened is that I found out that people love having their hands read, and everyone lined up in every situation. And what it gave me an inlet to truth, because your body doesn't lie. Your body, your symptoms, it says exactly what's on the tin. It says exactly what the real problems are. So with this palmistry, you cut through all the BS. You go straight for the truth of the person. I can feel how they're reacting. And at that stage, I didn't know so much about bodies, although I loved biology and how things functioned and figured in bodies and things. Later on, I started to be a therapist in my early 20s, and I knew I wanted to do some kind of body work, some kind of massage or something. And I started to learn and quickly realised there are two kinds of massage or body treatments. One is like beautician things, where you have lovely oils and aromatherapy, and you go to a beauty parlour, and get your nails done, and it's a beauty kind. And it's very different to therapeutic treatments, where you're connecting to within. And that's where my passion grew. But during this time, I was bulimic for 10 years, and looking back and thinking back about my childhood, I think it was again stuffing food down and suppressing my feelings. I think looking back at the patterns, it was a stuck of feelings. And then as I became a therapist in my 20s, I learned so many things about the body, not all about the body, so many things about the body. I studied shiatsu, reflexology, Reiki, Chinese massage, acupressure, loads more stuff. I've studied like crazy, and I just lapped it all up. I just loved it. And it was all about the psychology of the body. So like in shiatsu, all the different parts of the body, they hold different emotions. People will recognise things like when you have bladder problems, that it's all about fear. If you imagine an animal is scared, they pee themselves. Bladder is to do with fear, and kidneys as well, because it's all about the bladder and the letting go of the wee and this sort of thing. The heart is emotions and love, and lungs are about grief, and skin is about relationships. It's interesting, isn't it? Because everything's really, the body is biological. Because like the skin is the barrier between the inside of you and the outside of you. So if you've got any skin problems, it's about relationships, relating to what's inside of you to what's outside of you, or literally relationships. It's fascinating. I love it, and it makes sense. I never dealt with things. I didn't share what happened to me as a little girl till I was with one close friend when I was about, I think it was 30 or something. I couldn't share. I couldn't meditate until I was 30. I knew what I'd been through, but I didn't resolve it. I didn't deal with anything. And I think that burning desire now, what the PainFree Method is that I teach to other people now, is that you have to connect to the feeling within. I mean, since my 30s, I've drip-fed out how I felt, because growing up I wasn't allowed. I felt. So I was stuck, stuck in my life, stuck in my feelings. But you have to, because you feel it, and you've been through something. And unless you find solution or peace or release from it, it just carries on burning you up. You can have cancer from this stuff. Things will eat you up. You have to release them in some form. In some form, you have to find a way. And so working with bodies and unlocking the feelings that create the problem, physical things, is the PainFree Method. And yes, I treat people that have physical things, but it always goes back to what's creating it. You have to tap into that root cause stuff, whatever it is. And you may not have been through any traumas or anything, but you've got things inside that are burning to come out, and they come out as physical conditions. It's not easy to tune in and to connect with things that are not allowed or difficult or traumatizing things. It's not easy because we run away from these things, we pull away from these things, and that's where the damage happens. However, you can't avoid peace at the end of the day, because your body, your soul, your calling is going to call you back. So you find peace at the end of the day. You know, it's never going to let you go. You're never going to not find peace, because it's always calling you back. It's always like it's like saying, sort out this thing, let this thing go. So I was studying all these lovely things and working with people in clinics for about 10 years. And then when I was in my 30s, I got dumped. So so unfortunately, what happens to all of us, and lots of us. So I loved my professional work and helped people. That was great. But in my personal life, I'd reached the end of my rule book, my life book. My life said, be successful, meet a rich man, have kids, and off you go. And that was what I felt was sort of supposed to be my lot. And I met this guy, and we were together, and I thought, oh well, I suppose we're sort of going to get engaged and have kids. And he dumped me, and it was devastating. And I think, looking back, I had some sort of emotional breakdown or something. And I felt cracked open. I couldn't go forwards. I couldn't go back. It was like, well, what do I do now? I had my rules, my guidance in life, and it ended. And I cracked open somehow. I became ultra sensitive. And in my professional work at the time, everything changed. I started to smell spirits, see spirits, and I saw people's past lives through touching the body, through watching people. It was like I was sensitive to all the layers. And I remember so many wonderful experiences, but the very first one was I was having this space of, I didn't know where I was in life anymore, but my work sort of was my focus. And I put my hands on this lady doing a back treatment, like these massage chairs you have, and I put my hands on her body, and instantly I started to see her inside, her life and her past life came through. And I was doing all these shiatsu movements. I thought it was amazing. I thought, wow, look at this and look at that. And I was so like wowed. But I was doing my trained sort of treatment movements. And after half an hour, what this took me through was, the moment I touched her, I saw this rich, thick hair, and all her clothes were like velvet robes, and they just went and unraveled down to the floor, and these long, thick, like sort of Elizabethan type clothes. And I looked at her hands, and in my mind's eye something, and I saw all these chunky rings on her fingers, and she was plonking the piano. And I just thought, oh, isn't that amazing? And I just watched all this. And then when I finished the treatment, I thought, this was the first time it happened, and I thought, shall I say something? I'm going to think crazy or something, and I thought, I've got to. And I said to her, do you like the piano? Mm-hmm. And she said, I love the piano. She said, but I can't play a note. And I thought, yes. So I told her what happened. And we just loved up the story, and we just enjoyed that story, and that was it. But from that point on, these senses, everything opened up. My sound, my clairaudience, all these different sentient, everything opened up. And one day I was sitting in the clinic waiting for my next client, and I saw this lady at the bookshelf over there, and I was just thinking, oh, yeah, just I was drawn to her, and I just thought, oh, what's wrong with her then? Why is she here? And she was looking at the bookshelf, her back was to me, and I just started observing, and I noticed her, and I was drawn to her woman parts, and I looked, and I thought, I could see that it was a mess, that, I don't know what happened, whether it's, I don't know, birth trauma or physical things or operations, or it just looked a mess. All the colours were grey, and it was just a mess, energetically or something. And I thought, God, poor woman, and then I thought, I wonder if it shows on her face, because at the time I was studying facial analysis for healing. So, you can see the kidneys in the bags here, and you can see the liver in the middle, and all these sort of things. And I was studying these things. And I thought, I wonder if you can see it in her face. And at that moment, she turned around and looked at me. And I said, yep, you can see it in her face. Yep, definitely. And so all these sort of senses and awarenesses came through. I didn't know. I just was enjoying this process of it all and didn't know what to do about it. I just wasn't thinking what to do about it. I was a therapist in a clinic, and I went over to her and I gave her my card, and I said, do you want some help? Here's my card, and there it is. And so everything was opening up. That's what changed. I had to have a crack in my life to break me out of my cycle or flow or whatever it was of that way of life. I had to crack open, have nothing left, nothing. I was open. I became open somehow. Luckily I had a loving, supporting family, and I had my work to keep me going with having a living and stuff. And then this happened, so everything cracked open, and my treatments completely changed from that point. From that point, and all around that time, which took over a year or two of all this, amazing things happening, I realised once a critical factor of healing that everyone should know. The most important thing is we're taught that you have a symptom and you go to the doctors and you suppress it with medication, and you get things chopped out, and there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you emotionally, mentally, physically, and it's all lies, absolute lies. It's not true. So you come to me with back pain, and we're going to talk all about your back pain, how it affects you, what's it feel like, when do you have it, what have you done about it, what haven't done. We talk all about your problem, all about your situation that you're dealing with. And for the person, they're going to tell me all about their problem and what they want help with. But for me, I'm building a picture about what is it. And I'm very good at patterns and pictures, and I look at the whole thing, and I can form very quickly. Even the fact that you've got, what condition have you got? Backs, for example, support your body. They protect your spinal cord. They allow space. They protect and give an avenue for the nerves, and it gives you shape. And so what is it about protection in you? What is it about supporting you? What is it about protecting the important things in your life and what helps you? So I'm forming psychological understanding. Well, body will never lie. It'll tell you exactly what's the problem. So for somebody wanting to get help with this, describe your symptoms and then use the exact same words. Write down, this problem feels like ... And then that will precisely describe the real problem, which is the root cause. So say, for example, it wakes me up all night and it really hurts me. What hurts in you? So your symptom is a layer of your truth. And the more you connect to the problem, the more you will release it. So your body's like expressing and you're listening. There are 3 stages of healing. One is to connect to the problem, describe it, feel into it, and you start connecting with all the layers. The second stage is helping yourself. So if you want to be slim, that's what you want, and you might look forward to wearing all those lovely clothes or whatever, and this is what you want. But the second stage is you need to eat the right foods, find some sort of rhythm, get some support to help you, make a pattern for yourself or intentions or whatever you do. You need to help yourself. So that's the second stage. You need to do functional physical things to help yourself, like going for a run to get fit. The third stage is to bring back the world that you do want. So whatever's created your problems, that's the you inside. Whatever you're feeling and doing and been through, whatever, you're going to find healing for that. And then the third stage is, well, what do you want? What's the world you want? What do you want to create? How do you fill your cup? And that stops symptoms returning or old patterns. So that's all easy stuff. Healing is easy and healing is immediate. But when you start connecting to your problems, you'll automatically start coming up against the things that created it. So there might be resistance in there. There might be... you might be afraid and you want to stop it. So, no, it's not working for me, or I can't go there. You can feel a can't go there feeling. So you might get resistance. And these are the kind of things where I step in to help you and show you how to address those things, so you do continue to receive your goals of pain-free or symptom-free. What's the pain-free method? How do you get pain-free from symptoms? you need to learn how to connect and listen into you, essentially. That's the core of it. And your symptoms are a message that wants to be heard, a reflection of what's within. So stop trying to fix your thing. Stop trying to make it go away. Stop suppressing it. Listen to it. Connect with it. It's a very critical factor of healing. Connect with it. Listen to your instincts. You know, tune into what your symptoms are telling you. And that's the first stage. So the method is very, very simple. You have to, it's not touching or a hands-on therapy. You learn how to self-heal. I teach you how to self-heal. I show you the actions, how to do it, and they're very simple and straightforward. You may need support when you come up against your resistance of change, and that's where it's very important to get support and guidance, or get my book, which is coming out soon, or get support and help, or plan. If you're somebody who really wants to work alone, make a plan for yourself. It's just something that I guide people in when I teach them in the program. But yeah, it's all about, what do you do immediately? So you have a migraine this moment. What do you do immediately? And how do you use yourself in the right way? Some people say, is it psychological? Is it mind over matter? No, it's not. It's very direct, straightforward actions to use your body in the correct way. So just like when you're hungry, you have that message of I'm hungry, and you've learnt that you need to eat, and then the message goes away. Now, it might be lots of details in there. It might be this kind of food, not that kind of food, or not too much, not too little. And you learn how it affects you, and there's lots of variance in there. But essentially, you have a message of your body. Your body tells you when it needs food, and you feel it, and you do something about it, and the message goes away. It's exactly like that. So all signals of your system, your emotional system, your thoughts, maybe your patterns of behavior from whatever, physical signals, you're hot, you're cold, you need to move, these are all signals. So your pain messages are exactly the same. Your body doesn't care if you've been through traumas, or your body doesn't care if you have thoughts about it, or your mum doesn't listen, or your body doesn't care, it just functions. So when you do the correct actions, your body will immediately change. And these are the actions that I teach in the PainFree Method. How do you do that? How do you use your mind in the correct way that doesn't get in the way of healing, but it allows healing? So another fundamental thing to understand is that when you have a pain or problem, it's a split away from something that is not okay with you, something that's you can't accept, something that's difficult in you. It's a split of energy. And healing is coming back together, and that's the PainFree Method. I show you how to connect with the problem in a way that it goes. When you connect to the problem, you're connecting your mind, body and soul, and then healing will happen immediately. It helps everything from simple niggles, a headache and tight shoulders, a negative thought. How do you nip that in the bud? All the way to chronic long-term conditions. And I like a big wow. I like to take people from a horrible, terrible place that they've been told that's it, but there's a spark in them. They just want it better. I can take someone from that awful place. I show them how to do it, and to be pain-free. So if you have anything of that you don't like, that you're not happy about, that you want to change in you, even if it's not being happy within yourself. I specialise in physical chronic long-term conditions because that's my interest in bodies, and it's easy to see a clear change when you're in pain in your physical body and then you're not. But the method can be used from everything from simple niggles all the way to serious conditions. You just have to be ready and open. People have to be drawn to me, I think, and I notice that you can be really sceptical. Pretty much everyone's sceptical. But I say to them, why did you say yes? Why did you allow me to help you? And I think it's something instinctive. You feel I'm the right person for you. You feel it's your time. It's the right method. You feel drawn to it somehow. I've helped people, because I like the big wow, I've taken people who cannot walk. There's a lady, dear Linda, who I knew I could help her, and I felt that she wanted my help, but she was very reluctant to get started in the program, and I was doing lots of encouragement. I just knew I could help her, and she had severe back pain that she couldn't walk. She couldn't walk. She was feeling pretty grim about the future. A physical, practical, able, very strong lady. And here she was sitting on her sofa, and she called her doctor because she couldn't walk. She had so much pain. She had a very physical carrying job, she said, lifting job. And I guess that progressively got worse for her. So she called the doctor. He immediately sent her around to an ambulance. She spent a week in hospital, and they gave her all sorts of tests and sent her home with medication and a diagnosis. Thanks. But no cure, no relief, just pain meds, very strong pain meds, tramadol, morphine patches, and a lot of people are on heavy drugs because that's what they're given. Mm-hmm. And so there she was. She had carers cooking her tea in her home. She didn't really want, grateful obviously, but didn't want, and feeling pretty grim about her future. So the next day of working with me, she was walking. So she had severe pain. She had crumbling spine. Amazing. And I think it's osteoarthritis. Her testimonial's on my YouTube channels, and her name's Linda, if you want to have a look. One of my first clients, he felt relief after 5 minutes. 30 years of back pain. Wow. 30 years, and when you do the right things, your body will respond. Mm-hmm. I have a website, it's PainFreedom.co.uk, and there you'll see me talking about how the method works, the ABC of it. And I've actually got a longer video right besides it, right on the front page, that I was giving a talk recently, and I talk people through the stages of healing, how to get relief. So that would be a really good one to have a look at. Mm-hmm. And that might be enough for you. You might find that's enough for you, and it shifts your thing, and off you go. But if you do need more help, then I offer the program. I call it the Pain to Pain Free program. It's a 90-day program. Now, if you think about, you might have had something for many years. You might have taken drugs or struggled to get rid of it. And one little video, it might not be enough. It won't be enough. So if you feel that, then come and do the program. And I take you through the process of clearing the problem. And then, of course, those reasons it's there are going to rise. You're going to be confronted by the reason you've got your problem in the first place, and that's where I help you. That's where I show you how to unbuckle from those things, so your symptoms go away. They can't come back. They can't develop. Mm-hmm. And how to stay symptom free. Another early client was Lee, and she's also on my website. She's on my YouTube channel. She had serious nerve pain. And she had 4 lovely children, and she had just lost her husband, and she had this serious nerve pain that she was suicidal with it. So, and she had all these tooth problems and things. So that was in 2016, and it's never returned. Just to give you an idea how powerful your body is. Yeah. Your body responds like that. It never comes again. And when I studied shiatsu, this is the whole process, that your body is always healing 100% of the time. Mm-hmm. We've learnt the wrong things about healing. We're told that when you have a symptom, there's something wrong and it needs fixing, and what they give you is drugs and operations. That's what we're told, but this is the Rockefeller system. This is not healing, this is treatments or business. What healing is, if you touch yourself, your body responds automatically. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take you a month or years to feel it. It's immediate. Your body's immediate. So that's what my method is based on. It's immediate action. The only time that it doesn't go straight away is because there's resistance of change, or there's inner story, there's trauma, there's patterns in there. And that's where the value of the method comes in, of doing the program, those things that stop you healing. Because the body's immediate. It doesn't care what you've been through. You eat and it functions. But if you have a problem and you can't get rid of it and it keeps coming back, there's something holding that in place, and that's where the program comes into play. If someone's having a problem and symptoms they need help with, or they want to find out how to get rid of it, go to my website. It's painfreedom.co.uk. I have a free consultation there available. You can even just come on to, I have a short call. If you just have something you want to nip something in the bud, that's all you need, like a headache or something, come to the short call, which I call it the pain-free experience. Everything's on the website. You can either do the full program if you have something you need help with on more long term and for deeper things, but you can come to the short call, which is called the pain-free experience. And I hope to give across the board to give somebody something across budgets, across needs. If it's a small thing or it's a more long-term condition, it's available for you. I can help you. You can use this method wherever you are on that line, on that spectrum. I would love people to know that there is hope. Don't ever, ever. I've taken 50 years to develop this and come into knowledge and awareness, and I'm still learning. Don't ever give up hope. Never listen to somebody you don't agree with. Even if your doctor and your surgeon says this is the way it is with you and you're going to have to manage it the rest of your life, if you don't feel that's the right course of action for you, for some situations that's the right thing. But if you feel that you don't want to live like this anymore, you want your life back, and you don't want to accept that's those statements about your condition, then never give up hope. There's always a way. There really is. You can never extinguish a light. You know, you are light inside, and don't ever give up hope. Don't ever give up on yourself. If you want it, then it's possible for you.